So, Shani, we have a question from the audience for you. I'm not sure whether this is subject or not, but let me ask you. So, it says, how do you look at NFT? NFT is, I think, non-fungible tokens. How can creators take advantage of this, and what are the implications on the IP side? You're muted, Shani.
For that. There are great implications on the IP side because you actually get to track the value, and Sotheby's and Christie's have been doing it for a while, and then it's kind of creating its own hype. A lot of the interesting platforms are actually coming out of Israel, and we're very excited about that. The core question is, again, the separation between the hype and the value, right? Right now, there's a hype around it. People want to be involved in it. They're trying to figure out how it can be integrated in different verticals. Brands that have a lot of money want to use it to create new assets and to monetize their assets. But the sun hasn't sank yet. So we don't really know where the value is going to be. We've had the blockchain integration aspect for a long time. So NFT is not that far away from that, right? But blockchain hasn't been fully integrated, and we haven't even identified where it can be fully integrated and present real value. If you look at the media entertainment space, you can see some of the work around virtual assets, right? Identifying virtual assets, being able to track these virtual assets. That's incredibly important from a technological standpoint, which, by the way, it's been here for 12 years. There's nothing new there. So that's on capturing that, being able to track that. On the fine art aspect, the fine arts, that can be a revolutionary thing, right? Because we don't know. People exchange hands. It's been a great instrument for money laundering. Now you can actually track what's happening, why it's valued, where it's valued, where has it been, where it's been presented. For ticket sales, it can be an incredible integration. We can track scouting, so people can actually resell tickets, and if they can, it will be directly from the artists. The biggest difference that this brings in, whether through NFT or blockchain or whatever virtual integration and tracking systems, is that you can now bring the power back to the artist community. The artists can now communicate directly and monetize and leverage their audience directly, and not through a third party. We do have to be careful, though, and this goes back to the techno art model and mission, that these technology platforms are now turning into the bad guys, because they're the ones taking the commission. They're the one managing the relationship. They're the one making it overly complicated to use for artists. So that's where I feel like the regulators needs to step in and say, okay, there's a new revolutionary technology. It should be available to artists. How do we actually support startups, technology organizations that can breach that gap, that can let the artists leverage these tools to manage their career independently. We're doing it now. We just launched markersart.com. It's a platform that helps artists and brands connect directly. It's an algorithm that Tristan implemented that connects both sides and tells an artist which brands they should work with, and brands which artists they should work with, based on values, right? So it's not a traditional influencer platform. It actually shares the values and the values of the mutual communities. And now we are looking to integrate that into a tracking process, so both sides can monetize the assets that they create together, right? And grow together. So I mean, but these are the kind of solutions that we would like to see this implemented in. There's two levels of NFT, just like everything else. There's the majors, right? Warner just signed a deal to do the avatars of their artists through NFT and monetize that. There's other NFT platforms that work with more the independent artists, independent labels, so you can get on an aggregation. But at the end of the day, is what's actually going to stick. People are going to buy avatars. That's nice. It's the Tamagotchi. It starts. It's nice. There's a hype. Where is it gonna? What's the real asset that's gonna stay afterwards? And we're looking into that, but no one really knows.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it's like cryptocurrency, where there's a hype all the time, but you never know where it's gonna go. The future is still uncertain, and people are still trying their hands on it. Yes, makes sense.